It's Friday, coast to coast. The CFL is Canada's game. Well, we're all pumped up to party, and we're ready for a fight. Come on, kick back, relax, watch the Friday night football. Boys will be back when the CFL football game is up for grabs. It's Friday night football tonight.
And kicking off our doubleheader tonight, Bo Levi Mitchell and the Ticats look to cap off their season on a winning note. And the CFL's leading passer could make some history too, a win away from 100 in his career. While Drew Brown and the RedBlacks limping into the playoffs, hoping that strong finish from last week against the Argos carries over here tonight as they look to snap a 5-game losing skid. And yes, we have reached the finish line of the regular season. Final week, final Friday night football. A little bittersweet as we welcome you here inside the studio. Laura Dyken, Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez, and Milt Stiegel. Our second game of the doubleheader features the Argos and the Elks. But let's talk about these RedBlacks back in the playoffs for the first time since 2018. Not exactly how they were hoping the lead-up would go as they've lost 5 in a row. So what is the mindset of this team? Because we know the challenge is ahead, but they got Hamilton up first.
They got to take care of Hamilton, but tonight is not the most important night, Laura. They want to obviously, you want to get into the playoffs. It doesn't matter how you get there. You want to get there. But next week is really when the test is going to be taking place. And they want to try to have as much rhythm as possible. And hopefully tonight is a win. But this is not the most important game for them.
Yeah, I think it's, I'm with you 100%. It's all about the belief in themselves. They have to find something. It doesn't matter what the score says. It doesn't matter what anyone else says. They got to find some things tonight that they can hang their hat on moving forward to next week that they feel confident about. And I think that's the key for this Ottawa RedBlacks
guys
team.
are really selling this game. Way to go,
I can't wait!
Way to go! But no, they want to be sharp in this game, but win, lose, or draw, it's about next week. I mean, their MOP, Hardy, is not even playing, so you know they're not that concerned. They want him to be 100% next week. And yes, this team would like to go in with some momentum in the playoffs, but after this game, this season means nothing. It's all about the playoffs now. The regular season means nothing. So these coaches, I guarantee you, are prepping for what's going to happen next week.
Hamilton has been red hot, winners of 5 of their, 5 of their last 6 since Labor Day. As for Ottawa, one of the best home teams this season, 6-1-1, hoping to give their fans one more thing to cheer about in person. We will kick off the final weekend of the regular season next.
Yes, Laura, welcome to the nation's capital as they play the final game of the regular season on a Friday night in late October. You got one team, the Ticats, Dwayne Ford, who are red hot right now, but they didn't get hot fast enough to make the playoffs. The RedBlacks are in the playoffs, but ice cold lately. They've made some changes, though. Braylon Addison getting the start at running back.
Yeah, and this is obviously an interesting one. Kalen Laburn had been starting at running back. We've seen Braylon Addison in this role before. Swiss Army knife type guy. It'll be interesting to see exactly how they intend to use him offensively. Meanwhile, Bo Levi Mitchell, Hamilton's nominee as most outstanding player, over 5,000 yards passing for Bo this season. He looks to finish on a strong note.
At one point, Scott Milanovich's Ticats were 2-9. They've really charged back, but as said, too little, too late for a playoff spot for Bob Dice. At one point, they were 8-3-1, but they have secured a playoff spot for the first time in 2018 at 6-1-1 at home. They win tonight. They would set the franchise record in their 10-year history, celebrating their 10th year with a playoff spot next week. They know that. They'll be heading to BMO Field in Toronto. It's Mark Leggio with a new contract with the Ticats, about to get this one underway on a Friday night in Ottawa. final games for both of these teams of the regular season. Devontae Dedmon back in the RedBlacks lineup, and he takes it on the kick return. Dedmon gets across the 40. What a great return he has going, but we do have a flag out back at the Ottawa 25. Could this one be coming back?
Yeah, big burst from Dedmon, but there was...
return, illegal block, Ottawa, number 46. It's a 10-yard penalty. It's going to be first down for Ottawa.
Just as Dedmon breaks this to the outside, you saw in the very corner of your screen, Rob Panabaker for Hamilton had been closing on him. Was on the receiving end of a block from behind.
It was one of their top special teamers, Tyron Vredo, who gets flagged for that illegal block. So that was a 53-yard return by Dedmon, but all for naught as it pushes Ottawa, led by Drew Brown at quarterback. And Bob Dice, we talked to him about this. He wants Brown, even though this game means nothing in the standings, to get lots of reps. Might play the full game, at least 3 quarters. Get ready for next week. Passing now. That's to Braylon Addison. We've seen the RedBlacks use them that way a lot, with those short passes, getting them in space, and as mentioned, starting at running back tonight.
There you see the numbers for Drew Brown. Winning record thus far in his first full season as a starter in the Canadian Football League. Missed a few games, of course, due to injury before making his return last week against Toronto.
Spent the previous couple of years as a backup under Zach Collaros in Winnipeg. His first year as a starter in Ottawa, he had missed about a month before he came back from injury last week in that wild loss to the Argos in Toronto. So here we go in a 2nd and 2. That's the running back, Addison. Braylon Addison, a little stiff on there for Destin Talbert, heading out of bounds on the first down.
Offensively for Ottawa, it'll be Jacob Ruby back in at left tackle, veteran guy who's filled in on a number of spots throughout this season. Andre Miller in, as you heard the panel discuss. Justin Hardy is out for what we'll call maintenance reasons, making sure he's ready to go for the playoffs.
He'd missed a game a couple of weeks ago in Montreal on Thanksgiving and came back last week, but yeah, he's their nominee for MOP, Justin Hardy. They want to make sure he's good to go next week in Toronto. So on the first down from the 31, Brown with time, and open is Dominic Rhymes up across midfield. Another first down for the RedBlacks as they quickly get it into the Ticat zone.
Dominic Rhymes working out of the slot. You just see him settle between levels. Veteran receiver recognizes the soft spot. Drew Brown picking up a big chunk of yards with that throw.
That gain was 28 yards. And Rhymes comes into this game 104 yards shy of 1,000 for the season, so there's certainly a chance of that. Hamilton 51 and a first down. And running the football again, and the ball comes loose, and the Ticats say they have it. Turnovers have really hurt the RedBlacks this season, and do we have another one there? Yes, Kyle Wilson has the football, and the Ticats offense is coming on the field. So just as Ottawa is working it down into the Hamilton zone, it gets coughed up. It gets recovered by the Ticats. Bo Levi Mitchell to be coming on here on a Friday night in Ottawa.
Ray Wilborn getting the start at the nickel linebacker spot tonight. See him in behind. He's going to capitalize on the hit by middle linebacker Ryan Baker, number 36. Wilborn follows up. Rips that ball free of the fullback, Anthony Gosselin.
So Bo Levi Mitchell, who's 342 passing yards shy of breaking Henry Burris's franchise record for a single season, throws there, and it's off the fingertips of Tyler Ternowski. And this is a week after Mitchell just went on a tear against his old squad, the Calgary Stampeders, when he threw for 450 yards. He passed 5,000 for the 3rd time in his career at 5,026.
Yeah, big year statistically for Bo, and I know it has been an ongoing debate as maybe one of the most prolific, I won't say the most prolific, but one of the most prolific offensive players in the league this year. Where that puts him in the MOP discussion.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10, coming back for it, but no. Tim White, the Ticats' leading receiver, can't get to that one. So 2 attempts by Bo Levi Mitchell, and it's a 2-and-out for Hamilton after recovering the fumble. They'll punt it away.
Yeah, White's going to work the comeback along that sideline, but McGee gets a nice break to the ball, has inside position. Looked like White just able to get enough of a shoulder on him to keep him from being able to make a play on that ball.
The Aussie punter Nick Constantino is standing back inside the Hamilton 35. There are 2 returners back for Ottawa. Devontae Dedman at the bottom of the screen and Khalil Pimpleton at the top. Both have returned touchdowns this season. Pimpleton, who gets the ball with the punt return TD. And he has nowhere to go there. Robert Panabaker coming in, pushing him out of bounds as the RedBlacks offense is about to take over. Final game of the regular season for these 2 teams. 3rd meeting of the season, by the way. They met back in week 4 here at TD Place in late June. Ottawa won in a walk-off, and then in week 15, 6 weeks ago, it was the Ticats beating the RedBlacks on that day at Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton. Ottawa with their 15 and a scoreless tie to start. And that one, quick tossed for Andre Miller, goes incomplete, 2nd down.
We'll take a look at the Tiger Cats defense, led up front by Casey Sales, tops on the team in sacks with 6 from his defensive tackle position. And linebacker, you saw Ryan Baker, who's had a terrific rookie season, getting a number of starts at the middle linebacker spot, over 40 tackles for him on the year. Another one of those young building blocks, Destin Talbert, started the year at the nickel linebacker spot, moved to boundary halfback, where he's been terrific.
On 2nd down, 4-man rush, lots of time, and it's incomplete. That's intended for Rhymes. It's a quick 3rd down now coming up as Drew Brown and that offense head off the field.
Yeah, Will Sunderland making a nice play on the ball. He's coming in from behind. Dominic Rhymes on that play times it up well to record the pass breakup.
Richie Leone, punter for the RedBlacks. And Ticats should be in good shape on this one as he sends that from his end zone right at midfield. And that's Lawrence Woods. Oh, he gets upended. Charging in quickly there was Adrian Fry. The big hit on special teams by one of the new RedBlacks. But Mitchell, they just had a 2-and-out, and they're going to start right around midfield in a 0-0 game here in Ottawa. It's a game that meant a lot to Bo Levi Mitchell last week against his old team, the Calgary Stampeders, and it certainly showed the way he played, Dwayne. 5 touchdown passes against 1 pick, and he threw for 450 yards, as mentioned, to go over 5,000 for the season.
Yeah, Bo was on a little bit of a heater against the Stampeders last week, absolutely rolling in that ball game and continuing his strong 2nd half play, as he's really been one of the keys to Hamilton's resurgence.
Really has been the Ticats nominee for most outstanding player. He's handing off to Greg Bell. First carry, right side. Big carry, too, is Bell, who has really emerged in that Ticat offense this season, is first in the CFL with a gain of 12.
And we'll take a look at the rest of this Tiger Cat offense. Brandon Revenberg at left guard once again, the Ticats nominee as most outstanding offensive lineman in the receiving corps. Keep an eye on Stephen Dunbar Jr. and Keandre Smith, each of whom has a shot at reaching 1,000 yards on the season tonight.
Especially Dunbar, just 21 yards shy. 119 away is Keandre Smith, and reaching 1,000 for the first time in his young career. Mitchell is to throw. Looks to the right. That one is caught by Dunbar down at the 20, as mentioned. He came in at 979, so needing 21 yards. He gets 22 there, and that puts him over 1,000 for the season.
And you'll see Dunbar working towards the corner. Smith clearing out for him on that one. Bo drops it in just over top of coverage.
Second time in Dunbar's career. He also had 1,000 with the Ticats 2 years ago in 2022. So one catch hits his season milestone, 1,000 yards. And Levi Mitchell gets a little closer to the franchise record for passing in a season. Here's Bell running well again on his second carry as he works it down closer to the RedBlacks 10 and a gain of 9 more yards.
Defensively for Ottawa, they're happy to get Bryce Carter back. He spent much of this season on the injured list, led the team in sacks a year ago. The receiving core, or excuse me, linebacking core, Adrian Fry gets the start at the nickel linebacker spot tonight. DeAndre Lamont, team leader in defensive plays, is at the field halfback position.
Right down to the 12 and a 2nd and 1. Andy Litre is in, the ex-Red Black, on the carry and has enough for a first down, getting it down to with the Red Black 10. Litre started in Calgary, went to Edmonton, had a year with the Red Blacks last year before signing on with the Ticats for 24.
And one of the guys who earned the praise of head coach Scott Milanovic, we talked to him this week just about guys being leaders, being real pros this season. He really has appreciated what Ante Litre has brought to the table for the Tiger Cats this year.
Just asked him, about players that made an impression on him, not necessarily surprised him, but players he really didn't know taking over as Ticats head coach this year. So Mitchell back in, handing up the bell. He gets bumped by Brandon Revenberg, his own teammate, and he spins around and essentially is stuck with no gain.
Get a close-up look here at the collision between teammates. Defensive lineman getting penetration upfield on Revenberg, causing some havoc in the backfield.
2nd and goal, the Ottawa 10. Mitchell, end zone. No good. Intended for Desmond Patman, inserted into the Ticat lineup, and thought he had himself a CFL touchdown. They waved that off.
Patman lined up out wide here, but getting an opportunity to use the waggle a little bit with Brendan O'Leary-Orange moving down to the formation. Got his hands on it, but appeared to trap the football as he went down to the turf.
Good start. Had the hands on it, but just couldn't maintain possession. So Mark Leggio comes on now. 39 of 44. A 17-yard try for Leggio in his 4th year at a Western. Constantino puts it down, and Leggio kicks it through for the first points of the last game for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, taking the early lead here at TD Place. Moving down, setting it up for that short field goal for Leggio, 3-0. Crazy one last week in Toronto when the Red Blacks fell behind after 3 quarters by 32 points. Drew Brown helping lead them back. They outscored the Argos 25-0 in the 4th quarter, but still fell a touchdown shy. But Brown ended up with some pretty good numbers.
Yeah, well, interesting turnaround when you think about the previous meeting between these two teams, where it was Ottawa that got off to the great start, early lead in that ball game. Chad Kelly ended up putting up big numbers for Toronto and trying to throw them back into the game.
This came up shy. Brown's throwing there, and he completes it. That's in the Ticat zone again. They've been there before in this game. Jalen Acklin with his first catch in this one, and he has a pickup of 22.
Acklin, the former Hamilton Tiger Cat. East Division Rookie of the Year for Hamilton. Be a big boon, obviously, for Ottawa offensively if they could get Acklin going in the playoffs.
In his 3rd year with the Red Blacks, with the Ticats you talked about before then, played in the Grey Cup with Hamilton. That's Braylon Addison. He's a teammate now and was a teammate then with the Ticats, part of the Hamilton-Ottawa connection. We see a lot of that with this Red Blacks team, and Dwayne Hendricks in on the tackle.
Get a look here at the Tiger Cats under defensive coordinator Chris Jones, swarming to the football to force this 2nd and long.
After Addison picked up a couple of yards to the Hamilton 46 now. RedBlacks trailing by 3. Over 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. That's caught. Nick Martiner has it. Martiner, one of the top picks taken in the 2024 draft, gets 12 more yards and a first down for Ottawa.
Yeah, interesting to see here. Hamilton went with a 3-man front, leaving them 9 men dropping in coverage. But literally everybody, even that second level of defenders, the linebackers, were dropped back so far beyond the first down markers that it was easy to make that completion underneath and still pick up first down yardage.
Certainly in field goal range now. And on the first down, that carry going to the left is Addison. I said getting the start at running back. Kalen Leyburn going to the practice roster. It had been Leyburn taking over after the RedBlacks released Rock Armstead, who remains statistically the leading rusher in this team.
As I said off the top, Braylon Addison's an interesting one because of what his skill set is. Former high school quarterback. We've seen him do some wildcat type stuff in Tommy Condell's offense during their time together in Hamilton. So the combination of he and Devontae Dedman, I think, presents some interesting options at running back.
Another second and another second down converted. Andre Miller with the catch as they are getting deep into the Ticat zone. Another first down after 20 more yards.
Andre Miller, the first-year man out of University of Maine, working from the slot here. Again, he's in the lineup for Justin Hardy. Nice release with the swim to the inside. Nice depth piece added by Ottawa over the course of this season to their receiving corps.
First and 10, Hamilton 12, Brown, end zone, no, incomplete. The intended receiver was Pimpleton. So second down coming up.
Look at the Drew Brown view here. Just off the fingertips of the first year Ottawa receiver.
Out of Central Michigan. Second and down. And caught. Addison pushing. Looks like he broke the plane. Touchdown RedBlacks. So Braylon Addison getting the start at running back in a more familiar role there. Catching that pass and taking it in for 6.
You'll see Addison from outside working underneath here. And again, this is part of what Addison brings to the table. He's a guy who can do a little bit of everything. He's listed as your running back, but you can get into different formations without having to change your personnel. Sometimes create some mismatches, catch the defense off guard a little bit.
12-yard touchdown catch, Addison. The point after Lewis Ward. And the RedBlacks on the board with a touchdown after a 7-play, 70-yard drive to give them that 7-3 lead. Ottawa wants this win tonight to finish the season with a winning record and a good note to head in the playoffs. They're on top right now. Back at TD Place and a TD drive for the RedBlacks to go on top 7-3.
Yeah, a number of different receivers getting involved. Big second and long conversion there to Nick Martiner. Andre Miller moves him in close, and Braylon Addison starting at running back, but lining up at wide receiver on that one. Finishes things off.
Mentioning Brown went over 400 yards passing last week in Toronto when they were so far behind, and they threw it just about all the time. He's 7 for 10 for 104 in that touchdown so far. First quarter, still just under 3 minutes to go until quarter time as Ottawa kicks off. And Isaiah Wooden, newcomer to the Ticats. Scott Milanovich wanted to give him a look at a Southern Utah. Wooden in his CFL debut, and he gets it just up across the Hamilton 30.
Yeah, Wooden getting the late season audition. The Ticats work on making some decisions towards their 2025 training camp roster. You see Davion Taylor, who had a number of starts at middle linebacker this season in the absence of Javon Santos-Knox. Still looking to get it done on special teams, hopefully picking up some of the slack for the injured Darius Pickett.
From the Hamilton 31, play action fake. Mitchell settles in, gets rid of it, and wide open is Keandre Smith. Up across midfield and inside the RedBlacks 50 and taken down closer to the 45 by Davion Taylor.
Well, with Stephen Dunbar having reached that 1,000-yard mark, attention now turns to Keandre Smith, working from the right side of your screen. He was tight to the formation, working across the field. Bo originally holding on to the ball as he was looking at Tim White as his primary receiver here.
Smith got 33 on that catch. And handing off now to Greg Bell. Down to the 35. DeAndre Lamont coming in to take down Bell after a gain of 11 more yards.
An injury here for Hamilton. I believe it was the tight end, Giovanni Robinson. Went down on the play. You know, and the impact of this, Robinson is a guy obviously unique given his size, 6'8", but we've really seen his role grow in this Hamilton offense over the course of the season. Not a lot of other guys on the roster like him to be able to do the same things and line up in the same formations and run the same play calls. So we'll see how this impacts Scott Milanovich's play calling.
Interesting story. I mean, he's in his early 30s now, and he's just getting started in the CFL. And we talked about this before, how his first love was basketball. But I guess one of the things you can't coach, the size and athleticism that he has, and everyone could see the potential in football. He just hadn't played much or at all in high school.
Yeah, and we've seen this before in football. You think about the National Football League, where tight ends are a little more common, guys who have been college basketball players making this conversion. You know, if they have the physicality, and obviously there are a lot of transferable skills.
So Robinson heads off, and he's had 19 catches for 209 and 3 touchdowns. Had a touchdown last week on his one and only catch against the Calgary Stampeders. One of the 5 thrown by Bo Levi Mitchell. They're down to the Ottawa 35, down 4. Mitchell again with time, and it's intercepted right down to the end zone by Damon Webb. Right there, and Keandre Smith, and put another one on the resume for Damon Webb. That is his 5th interception of the season to snuff out that Hamilton drive.
Keandre Smith working from the slot on this one. Bo Levi Mitchell facing a little bit of pressure. See, Smith gets in behind the halfback, but nice play from Webb coming over from the other side to help out on this one and steal the ball from the Hamilton receiver.
And getting the pick and landing down just the goal line inside. They bring the ball out.
The interception occurred in goal. Therefore, by rule, it's first down for Ottawa at the 30-yard line.
Let Ben Major explain it instead, as he does, referee tonight. So because of that, where Webb landed, they'll actually get to start in a pretty good spot up at their own 30-yard line. Ottawa moved the ball well last time they had it. Went down for a touchdown. And it's Braylon Addison, who had that touchdown as a receiver, is back at running back, and a good pickup on first down.
Ottawa going to a tight end formation here with Anthony Gosselin, the fullback, stepping up on the line of scrimmage, just going right at the Ticats with Addison in that ground game.
8 more yards for Addison. He has 3 carries for 19 yards. His overall numbers for his career running the ball. And there is no running to be done there. The Ticats stiffening up. It's Nick Usher in there and Ryan Baker too. And it's a 3rd down coming up for Ottawa.
Keep an eye on Usher from the left side of your screen. Beats a couple of blocks as he works his way to the football. Get in on the play. Well-traveled veteran, spent time in Edmonton, Montreal, and BC previously before joining the Cats this season.
Richie Leone to punt. Lawrence Woods back for it. He had a punt return touchdown against the RedBlacks 6 weeks ago. And better covered there up around the 28. He goes down, and that is quarter time. First 15 minutes of the final regular season game in the books for the RedBlacks and the Ticats. Early Hamilton field goal with the RedBlacks answering back. Braylon Addison, touchdown, 7-3 after one, Ottawa. Through one quarter at TD Place in Ottawa, the RedBlacks have the 4-point lead. Those are the numbers. Now, let's face it, this game has no bearing on the standings, but we talked to both head coaches before this game, and I believe them when they say it. They do want to win. They're coaching to win this game. Scott Milanovich emphasized that's the way he wants things to play out, and you know, even though it doesn't have any bearing on them making the playoffs.
Yeah, and obviously very different situations for both teams. Ottawa going into the playoffs wants everything to be finely tuned, want to have some momentum and so on as they go on to face Toronto in the Eastern semifinal next week. For Scott Milanovich, they've had a positive second half and want to keep that going.
5 wins of the last 6. Now, of course, we asked that question in the context of individual records, like one Bo Levi Mitchell is pursuing. Milanovich made it clear, coaching to win. And if he wants to take Mitchell out of the game, if he feels like he should make a change and he wants to see Taylor Powell, he will. As mentioned, coming into the game, Mitchell is 342 yards shy of catching and passing Henry Burris for the franchise's all-time record passing in a single season.
Yeah, and I would certainly say that for Scott Milanovich, he was very clear that the focus isn't on individual numbers, and he recognized that there are players chasing milestones in this game, but the fact is he's calling plays and making decisions as head coach with the goal of winning the football game, period.
And if they do, that'll be ending the season with 6 wins in the final 7 games after an 0-5 start. Brendan O'Leary-Orange cannot hang on to that one, so the punting unit will have to come out for Hamilton.
Yeah, the only consolation to this drop from O'Leary-Orange is that it's likely to be stopped short of the first down in that instance with a defender closing on him.
The safety money hunter was coming in. O'Leary-Orange, who started his career with Winnipeg, for coming over to the Ticats. Constantino to punt it again. Devontae Dedmon, well, it's a shorter punt, and he's nowhere near it as it rolls out of bounds. And another good place to start for the RedBlacks now, up around their 43. You know Halloween's getting closer?
Oh, I know it is.
Yes, I know you know it is. Do you have a banana costume?
I'm trying to think in the Ford family repertoire of costumes, because we do have a lot.
You have a lot. Superheroes, I understand. 4-man rush. Drew Brown. Deep. Caught. Pimpleton. And he's down inside the Hamilton 15.
As this ball is in the air, it felt as if any one of 4 people could have caught this football, 2 from each team, as you see. Pimpleton and Andre Miller both look like they're kind of working to the same spot on the field. Pimpleton the one to get there first. That hit explains the conversation that Drew Brown and David Menard appeared to be having as they made their way up to the new line of scrimmage.
As you saw, he made his debut in week 6. He's almost at 600 yards. A little more than half the season, Khalil Pimpleton, who was broken up nicely by Ray Wilborn. But Pimpleton, and as mentioned, he's had a return touchdown as well, but he's the RedBlacks nominee for outstanding rookie.
And there you see Wilborn. Started the season as the Tiger Cats middle linebacker. Getting some time at the nickel spot tonight with Jamal Peters out of the lineup. Jonathan Moxey has moved from nickel to boundary corner.
2nd and 10, Hamilton 16. Brown, and look looking to the end zone, and Moxie was right there with the intended target, Pimpleton again. So third down and Lewis Ward time for the RedBlacks.
Yeah, Pimpleton got a pretty good release here to the inside on Moxie. The ball just thrown a little to the inside on him.
Lewis Ward, 53 is 61 on the season. This is a 23-yard try to put Ottawa up a full touchdown, which he does. From Kingston, Ontario, Lewis Ward. 1 for 1 in field goals tonight. We'll talk more about Bo Levi Mitchell and the year he's had with these Tiger Cats. Been on fire since he was benched mid-season. Hamilton down 7. Interesting year to say the least for Bo Levi Mitchell, who does go over 5,000 yards for the third time in his career, with more on his 2024. Let's head on to the field now and say hello to Claire Hanna.
Mitchell keeps ticking items off of his to-do list. Last week, he beat his former team, the Calgary Stampeders, for the first time in his career, and now he has beaten every single CFL team. But what his coaches, players, and even fans are asking him, what does the future hold? Well, Mitchell told me that a couple of years ago, he spoke with our very own Milt Stiegel, who told him, you know that you're ready to retire when you don't want to get hit anymore. Well, this season, Mitchell said it's proven to him that he still loves the game. He belongs with the guys. He told me, nothing in my body says I don't want to do this anymore. And the fact that his numbers are so elite just proves that he can still be an effective quarterback. Guys?
Hey, Claire, things really seemed to turn after he was benched in Montreal by Scott Milanovich. Came back after Taylor Powell got hurt, and he had over 5,000 yards. And this is the first time in his career that he has led the CFL in passing yards. It's over 1,000 more than second-place Zach Collaros, handing off to Greg Bell. Going nowhere there. RedBlacks all over it. Bryce Carter back in the lineup, in on the tackle there for Ottawa. But yeah, I mean, Mitchell has been, and you talked about the MOP race. He's Hamilton's MOP, but can he win MOP having the great stats he's had on a team that's not in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think he can. Odds are, to me, that Tyrese Beverett probably gets the nomination out of the East, and I think deservedly so. But bigger picture, I don't think that being on a non-playoff team should impact Bo's candidacy for the award.
2nd and 9, throwing, and that one is coughed up by Tim White. So been a couple of what looked like could have been catches going awry, and punting unit will come on again for Hamilton.
Yeah, you'll see White coming from the right side of your screen, working towards the middle. His hands on it, looked like contact came just as he was trying to secure that one. Tim White over 1,000 yards again, despite a slow start to this 2024 season.
Hamilton's now 1 for 5 on 2nd down. Coming into that drive, they had 86 yards on first down, only 2 yards on second. So they have to punt it away again. Red black ball. Devontae Dedman on the return, just around the Ottawa 30. Late October, final home game, final game period of the regular season before playoff time on a beautiful late October night in the nation's capital. We'll be back.
That show has the endorsement of our statistician, John Perlberg.
Yes, it does. Pearlie's loving that show, and so we got to get caught up, Mr. Ford.
We do.
It's the RedBlacks who are ahead. And Khalil Pimpleton has another catch, and a big one last possession, knocked down by DQ Thomas there. For another pickup, 20 more yards for Khalil Pimpleton.
As you mentioned, Pimpleton, Ottawa's nominee as most outstanding rookie. This year, adding that explosiveness and speed dimension to their passing game.
He's gone over 600 yards for his season. Khalil Pimpleton already has 81 yards receiving, and that's on 2 catches. 1st and 10 in the Ticat zone. Drew Brown and the RedBlacks checks it down for Anthony Gosselin, who can't hang on to it. And so a 2nd and 10 is coming up here.
Gosling, the fullback, caught looking to run before he had a hold of this one.
Wanted to turn it up and go.
I can speak from experience that sometimes you get a little excited when you don't get the ball that often.
You catch a lot. I know you carried the ball a lot more. Did you get
I was a
many catches?
1,000-yard receiver
1,000 yards.
for
That's
my
awesome.
12-year career.
Yes. Okay. Well, still. Brown, high, picked off. Hamilton football. That's Destin Talbert with it. Talbert has the pick on a high pass by Brown, and that's his second interception of the season. Another one of those players that certainly made an impression on Scott Milanovich this year.
Yeah, no doubt. Playing one of the toughest positions on the field, top right corner of your screen. That boundary halfback, just an overthrow intended for Jalen Acklin. And Talbert in position to come up with the theft.
Destin Talbert, first year, North Dakota State, 38-yard return after that interception. So it sets up the Ticats across midfield at the Ottawa 52. Trailing 10-3, second quarter. Looking to close out the season with their 8th win. Mitchell, it is caught. It is Stephen Dunbar, who earlier in the night went over 1,000 yards receiving this season. Second time in his career that's happened. He has 18 more yards to his total.
And Dunbar does a nice job here working back into the open hole in coverage, coming back to the football for his quarterback and tucking it away, getting upfield.
Little reverse here. The toss inside going the other way. That's to one of the newcomers to the Ticats. We saw him in returns. Isaiah Wooden has that one for 12 yards as they incorporate him into the Hamilton offense as well.
A little play action forward flip there. Mitchell to Wooden. It looked as if there were multiple handoffs on the play, but there weren't. It was just Bo had Tim White faking going the other way, trying to create some misdirection for the defense.
Open things up for Wooden. His first CFL carry. Here's Greg Bell, their first-year Ticat, who ended up taking over from James Butler at running back. At first, his debut here in Ottawa back in late June when Butler was hurt, and he ended up taking the job away.
You see nice patience from Greg Bell here tonight, letting things develop in front of him. That time it's a cutback lane. A pickup of about 8 or 9 on the play.
He's up to 40 yards carrying so far tonight in a 2nd and 2. Down to the Ottawa 14. Andy Litre in on the short yardage. Litre needed 2 yards. Well, or a little less. So close to that first down on that 2nd down play for Hamilton.
Lorenzo Malden was able to scramble his way upfield, get into the legs of the ball carrier Litre here.
CFL's Defensive Player of the Year in 2022, Lorenzo Malden. And Litre didn't get there, so he stays on. 3rd down and about a foot now. RedBlacks defense looking for a big stand here. Litre didn't get much. Swallowed up by the RedBlacks defense. We await the spot of the football. A little conversation after the fact. Thinks he's got it.
And perhaps a little friendly jawing with former teammates there for Litre, who spent last season in Ottawa.
Ben Major says first down.
Former Simon Fraser star.
drafted by Calgary, later won a Grey Cup with Bo Levi Mitchell back in 2018. Here's Mitchell now in the Ottawa 12 and a first down. He looks to the end zone to the right. Touchdown, Keandre Smith. Wide open in behind coverage. Another touchdown for Smith. That gets the Ticats within an extra point and tying this game up.
Keandre Smith, front receiver. As Hamilton goes trips out to that right side. He's going to stem to the inside, bend back to the corner. Nicely designed pattern for the Ticats there to create some space. For the third-year Canadian receiver from the University of Guelph.
One of several excellent Guelph receivers in the Canadian Football League. And for Smith, that's his 7th touchdown receiving this year. Already had been a career high, and that gives him 45 yards receiving on a night that, well, he could use a few more to see if he has a chance at 1,000 on the season. 10-10 tie. First touchdown of the night for the Ticats, scored by Keandre Smith on this drive.
Now, once again, 3 receivers out to that right side. Bo never has to take his eyes off of it. So that one seemed to play out just as planned for the Cats. Smith open work into the corner.
6 plays, 52 yards in just under 4 minutes, and we got a tie ball game now. 5:40 to the clock until halftime. With Leggio kicking off, and Devontae Dedmon back inside the 24. Some big hitting down there, including the takedown by James Tuck on special teams. And Devontae Dedmon. Justin Hardy not in the lineup tonight. He's the RedBlacks nominee for most outstanding player, so no shot at catching Justin McInnes for the most receiving yards on a single season. Let's go back to Claire.
Yeah, Rod. Now, Bob Dice said he's balancing a couple of things in tonight's game. He wants to play well against Hamilton, but he also said that football is unpredictable and he doesn't want any of his stars getting injured ahead of the playoffs. So that's the main reason that Justin Hardy isn't playing tonight. He said that his back flared up. He wants him to be 100% in the East Final. But what's unfortunate is that Hardy was chasing a couple of records. Greg Ellingson's receiving record with the RedBlacks, and then he was also chasing another record set by Gerald Alphin in 1989 with the Rough Riders. But Hardy's all about team performance. He's not going to sacrifice himself for the sake of records. He knows the most important thing is being healthy for next week.
Yeah, Claire, he's very low-key about all that. And we talked to him about milestones, records, and everything. Only one really matters to him. True team guy, what you'd hope and expect for a player like that.
Yeah, a veteran guy, a pro. Again, Ottawa's nominee as most outstanding player this season, but Justin Hardy will tell you he doesn't care about any individual stuff. It's all about what they do in the playoffs.
The ball carrier is Braylon Addison, and heading off tackle and another good gain, picks up 8-9 yards. That was after a 29-yard pickup, by the way, in Dominic Rhymes.
Addison in the backfield, looking pretty good, comfortable in that running back spot. Free safety Stavros Katsantonis coming downhill to make a play on that one.
2nd and 2 at the Hamilton 37, and it's out for Addison. Inside the 40, 35, 30, first down and more. So he just heads out of bounds. And the RedBlacks quickly working their way down the field after Hamilton had scored the touchdown to tie the game.
Yeah, you see Addison starting off in the backfield right beside Drew Brown. Working that swing route as an outlet for his quarterback, picks up what he can. You know, and I think there's an element there of being aware that the playoffs await. Not taking unnecessary contact. And it's not like we haven't seen Addison running hard up the middle and being physical in there, but along the sidelines just getting out of bounds.
Well, here he's running. Speaking of getting physical, whether he wanted to or not, Dwayne Hendricks is coming in on that carry by Addison and knocks him to the turf.
Yeah, Addison found himself a little bit out of his weight class on this one as the defensive tackle. Dwayne Hendricks beats his block to make a play.
Not so much a tackle, more of a push down.
Yes.
Hendricks, former Argo, signing on with Hamilton. Speaking of the Argos, playing later tonight in Edmonton and hosting the RedBlacks in the playoffs next week. BMO Field, pressure. Kyle Wilson nearly got there, but no! And just a bit too far for Martiner, who had broken free into the Hamilton end zone, close to another Ottawa touchdown, but instead a 3rd and 8 is coming up with the 3-minute warning given. Oh, Martiner was close, but not quite. Field goal situation coming up for the RedBlacks to see if they can retake the lead.
So it's my final games of the regular season, and we decided to celebrate with some dunks. All of us got the memo except Paul Police, but he made up for it in a big way.
You guys didn't get the Halloween memo? What
Happy
the hell?
Halloween.
Where's the Halloween gear?
Who wore it best, Rod and Dwayne? Who wore it
Tina,
best?
please start dressing. Please.
Help him.
Oh, Laura, by the way, great job this season filling in for Kate. And maybe there's some Halloween pressure going on. Maybe Dwayne Ford's going to have to, I don't know, quickly scramble. Maybe too late tonight, maybe tomorrow in Montreal. We'll see. From the 30, Lewis Ward puts it through. 13-10 Ottawa. Yeah, Dwayne's been known in the past to break out a few costumes. So no promises, but care to make a comment? Halloween's
In the words
coming.
of one of my favorite sitcom characters, Barney Stinson, challenge accepted.
There you go. Heard that, Laura? Challenge accepted from Dwayne Ford. As for tonight, we got nothing. We're letting the fans do the talking here in the nation's capital in the final game of the year here at TD Place. Looking forward to watching their team, I'm sure, in the playoffs next week at BMO Field in Toronto. That'll be next Saturday, a week from tomorrow. 1st and 10. Hamilton 40. RedBlacks in front by 3. That is caught by Dunbar. Out of bounds after he had about an 8-yard gain. Adrian Fry is there.
Took Dunbar a little time to get going at the start of this season. People know him as a veteran Tiger Cat, but remember he spent the 2023 season in Edmonton and was a late free agent signing coming back to Hamilton this season. So camp was already underway. Didn't have the chance to play with Bo Levi Mitchell last year, but the two of them certainly found their chemistry as the season unfolded.
Broke in the CFL with Hamilton in 21, and in 22 finished the season with 1,000 yards receiving on the nose. 2nd and 2. Annie Lee is the ball carrier who has the first down up close to midfield.
Trey, versatile guy. You obviously see him as the short yardage quarterback so often for Hamilton, but a guy who's able to fill in, spell Greg Bell or James Butler at the running back position, can play some fullback, tight end for you as well.
Ticats, one of the hottest teams going in the CFL in the second half of the season, coming into this one having won 5 of their last 6. But just not enough after that 0-5 start. That is caught. That's Des Patman. He has his first catch after nearly having a touchdown in the first quarter. He gets that one inside the 40. Patman, and a pickup of 18 yards his first year at Washington State.
And Hamilton, a team that looked to add some size in that receiving core. Coming into this season, Patman certainly a part of that. 6'4", 6'5". You saw him using that, his reach, his catch radius, hauling that one in.
And played 6 games this season with the Ticats before this one tonight. Another catch. Dunbar. Here's another one, and inside the 30. Let's get an injury update now. Giovanni Robinson from Clare.
Yeah, guys, with about 2 minutes left in the first quarter, Robinson went down. He was leaving, limping, really favoring his left leg, but he is done for the night with a lower body injury.
All right, so we talked about him earlier, Claire. Thank you. With very little football experience, he has managed to find a spot in the Canadian Football League, and it certainly made an impression. Not a ton of catches, but a couple of touchdowns and He took advantage of his size and athleticism, but in this season finale, his season is done. Pump fake Mitchell off to the right, and Tim White in his hands, and he drops it. He was staring down Frankie Griffin. He hung on to the football, but no catch. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Yeah, Mitchell had the guy he wanted. Ticats leading receiver Tim White has a little bit of space working the crossing route there. Just obviously one that White would like to have back, and Scott Milanovic would clearly like for him to have back.
That's 2 drops for Tim White tonight. It's kind of the way his season started before he got it straightened out in the first game here in Ottawa back in week 4. So that catch just inside the 30 is Bell. No gain at all. 3rd down coming up. Actually, it's a loss of at least a yard for Hamilton.
Mark Leggio and the field goal team making their way out on the field. Good rebound to get the stop there. You see the drop proves to be something of a drive killer for the Cats.
Still in position to tie it though with Leggio, who's 1 for 1 in the night, and this one a little further out at 36 yards. Up and through. Tied again. 1:16 on the clock until halftime.
Big receiver coach Naaman Roosevelt over there chatting with Tim White, Keandre Smith at the bench.
Roosevelt had some time in the CFL, broke in with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, who are turning to coaching. Week 21. This is the first game of this final weekend. Argos Edmonton next, then interesting tomorrow to decide first place in the West, with 2 games starting with Winnipeg and Montreal. Drew Brown has all kinds of time. Finally, David Menard's charging in to force him to throw it, and a flag comes out as it sails out of bounds on that deep toss.
And the big thing from an Ottawa perspective in this football game, as we've said, they're playing to win, obviously, but
Illegal contact on the receiver, Hamilton, number 27. It's a 10-yard penalty, makes it a 1st down for Ottawa.
you know, I think take a look at this penalty. Take a look at Jonathan Moxey, again playing out at the corner tonight. As the receiver went for the double move to get vertical. He impeded him.
Off to Addison. Midfield. Down to about the Hamilton 51. Just about a yard or 2 shy of a 1st down. Gain of 8 for Braylon Addison. He's had a busy first half against his old team.
Yeah, and you know, Braylon Addison, a guy who's battled injuries over the last couple of seasons after being one of the top receivers in the Canadian Football League during his time in Hamilton. Great to see him thriving again. You know, back healthy, doing his thing. Having a strong night here tonight for Ottawa.
Dustin Crum is in on the 2nd and 2. Oh, he gets more than that. He's still going. 20, 15, pushed out at the 10 by Richard Leonard. So he came in needing 2 yards and under a minute before halftime. Still 33 seconds on the clock, and Ottawa approaching Hamilton's goal line down around the 10.
Yeah, nice job up front. You get a couple of pulling linemen out in front, and Dustin Crum, one of this generation of terrific running quarterbacks in the Canadian Football League, burst onto the scene last year. You see that his numbers, 741 rushing yards, to lead all CFL quarterbacks a year ago, as he was pressed into starting duty due to injuries at the position.
He was 4th in the depth at the start of last season, ended up starting more games than any of the Red Black quarterbacks. So in that 1st and goal, and that is complete. It's inside the 5 to Rhymes. 2nd and goal coming up here. 28 seconds to go until halftime.
Rod, there's a young man in front of me holding up a sign that says, "Please say they found us, Isaiah." So whatever that's all about, they've been found.
We'll work on the whole story. Here's 2nd and goal into the end zone. Touchdown, Jalen Eklund. A timely, major score for the RedBlacks with the clock ticking till halftime.
There's the man of the moment, Jalen Eklund. And nice job getting his release, getting inside position. Today a short, high percentage throw for his quarterback, Drew Brown.
So the touchdown scored by a couple of ex-Ticats. First Braylon Addison, and then Jalen Eklund, with Lewis Ward on for another point after try. 15 seconds on the clock until the half. And a 7-point RedBlacks lead is restored after the 4th receiving touchdown of the season for Eklund.
A quick slant. Brown to Eklund for the score.
Well, Bob Dice had said he wants this game, wants to win it, wants that offense to look sharp right from the start, not wait the way it happened last week in Toronto. To get them ready for a rematch against the Argos in a much more important game next week at BMO Field. And that offense has looked a lot sharper in this one. With Brown 14 of 22, 249 yards passing. And we're not even at halftime yet. And 2 touchdowns, 1 intercepted for Drew Brown.
And I started to say earlier, I mean, I think as important as winning for Ottawa in this football game, for a number of reasons why they value the win, obviously, but you want to see Drew Brown in the offense looking good. Brown having missed a couple of games. Braylon Addison getting the start at running back. You know, just a few things that you want to feel comfortable with as the regular season comes to a close for the RedBlacks this evening.
Halftime coming up with Laura and Enoch and Chaz and Milt. And I love what Claire said about Milt's advice to Bo Levi Mitchell when you're tired of getting hit. Milt used to say that all the time.
So,
I can still play. I'm still just as fast. My hands are just as good. I don't like getting hit anymore.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, unless Enoch and Chez are up to something, I don't know if Milt's getting hit a lot in studio.
Well, we saw early in the season, Milt did not like it when Enoch pushed him around.
No.
Timeout. Ottawa.
Demonstrating that Mr. Stiegel made the right decision to retire.
And Bo Levi Mitchell's response to that advice, as Claire had told us earlier, it's not so much about being hit, but he still feels good about playing. He's got another year left in his contract. He's coming off what statistically is an outstanding year. Obviously, would have preferred being in the playoffs, of course. That's the problem. But on an individual basis, all the passing yards, he's looked great, especially in the second half. But there he's taken down, sacked by Lorenzo Malden, who once was a CFL sacks leader when he had 17 that great year a couple of years ago here with the RedBlacks.
Yeah, Malden, a guy who started his CFL career as a Hamilton Tiger Cat. Most outstanding defensive player in 2022, which was his first season in Ottawa after coming over as a free agent. Wild to think both he and Tyrese Beverett were Tiger Cats, left as free agents that same season.
That was the 8th sack of the season and the 30th as a RedBlack for Lorenzo Malden. So it ends that way after the late touchdown. Brown to Eklund, but Braylon Addison and a good first half for him.
Yeah, Addison giving you the full display of his talents. Carrying the ball, catching the ball, and he is now standing by with our Claire Hannon.
Braylon, we've seen you play a lot of offense for the RedBlacks, but this is the first game where you're listed as the #1 running back. You already have a touchdown. How comfortable are you feeling in this position?
It's just really good to be back out here and getting the groove with my teammates, and I'm just trying to do what I can to help us get a win.
You guys have 2 more quarters before you move on to the playoffs. What is going to be important in this second half for your team?
Try to play sound football. I thought we had a pretty decent first half, a lot for us to build on. So, going into the second half, we just want to continue to play sound football and, try to come out with this dub and, get ready for next week.
Braylon, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Laura, from the chilly field in Ottawa, let's send it to you in that warm studio.
Claire, what a trooper. And Milt, we are sure glad you did retire, because otherwise, he's already shaking his head. Otherwise, you wouldn't be sitting here rocking your dunks, talking about Ottawa and Hamilton and week 21. So yes, we are at the half. Another sign that the season is winding down. It is award season now, and this past Wednesday, the team winners were announced. As we take a look now at your 2024 MOP finalists, 4 wideouts, 2 defensive players. You've got a DB and a linebacker, 2 wide receivers, and last but not least, a quarterback as well. So, Milt, let's start with you. Yep. Who's your pick to win MOP, and maybe give us a dark horse as well?
Well, I'm going to break it down east and west because they still have to break it down, but I'm going to go with Bo Levi Mitchell in the east. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, hold on, man. He didn't even lead his team to the quarterback. Well, as I said last week, this is not a team award. This is an individual award. Bo is going to lead the league in passing by maybe more than 1,000 yards. He's going to lead the league in passing touchdowns. So he's definitely deserving of being the MOP. He's done all he could do. Yes, his team wasn't the best this year. They finished up strong, so he has to be in consideration. And in the West, you got to go with Brady Oliveira, but don't sleep on Milligan. That's my dark horse. And if he doesn't win, he needs some special award. He was nominated for 3 awards, MOP, defense, and special teams. That's a special player.
Yeah, I think in a year that the offense has been down, look, even in that list, only 1 quarterback of the 9 teams is the team's nominee.
Yeah.
That should tell us a defensive player deserves to win the MOP this year. That is a fact. I mean, look, this guy. Roland Milligan. And look, Tyrese Beverett. Hey, Tyrese, I know we're talking about Roland Milligan right now, but you had a heck of a year, my man, and also are deserving. But Milligan, the fact he's second in league in special team tackles. He's in 70 tackles, 8 interceptions, 10 knockdowns. He's a cover guy. I mean, that says it all. You're not going to have seasons like that very often, and that's it. For all the voters, you're not going to have seasons like that very often. The fact he had one, it'd be a shame if he didn't win the MOP.
I mean, it is the year of the defense, Milt.
It is the year of the defense.
This is the year. He's just not used to being outnumbered on a pound like this. But this is the year of the defense. Roland Milligan's year is absolutely impressive and unreal. You have to reward him for what he's done. And to your point as well, Chaz, Beverett did an amazing job. Leads the league coming into this final week for the CFL in tackles. And you got to take into account, too, this is not his normal position as well. He has to adjust to all the changes for that defense, and he still performed the way that he did. Yes, I said
So you got 2 defensive guys for the MOP. Wow.
That's right. You heard it. You heard me.
Wow.
You heard me.
All right.
Well, the finalists will be announced on Halloween. We've got our little segue here with Paul LaPolice, and then the awards will be given out on November the 14th. That's all part of the Grey Cup festivities. Milt and Kate will be hosting that. You're going to wear your dunks for that? You're going to borrow Paul's jacket for that?
Oh, no,
No.
He's taking Paul's jacket.
We've got another jacket appearance coming up as our halftime
Stevie Wonder
continues.
picked out that jacket.
Just over an hour to go now before Trey Ford and the Elks host Cameron Dukes and the Argos in their regular season finale at Commonwealth in Edmonton. One final dress rehearsal for Toronto before hosting Ottawa next weekend in that Eastern semifinal. It has been an interesting week for both the Argos and RedBlacks, and for more on that, it's time for Coach's Playbook with Paul LaPolice and the Blazer.
Yeah, what's interesting for both of these football teams, this game means something in the standings, but they know who they're playing in the playoffs. I thought it'd be interesting to take you through what a week would look like when you have a game at the end of the year where things don't really matter besides standings. Now, first of all, the coaches probably spent as much time this week preparing for their playoff opponent as they did this game. Why? You want to make sure you're prepared. You're going to go through, you're going to say, hey, let's use the game plan last time we played this football team, but let's spend a lot of time. You may break some of the coaches out, spend more time on that preparation. The second thing that's going to happen, you are going to, I've been on some teams that dedicate actual practice time to the playoff opponent. Hey, we're going to 5 blitz plays. We're going to do 2 plays of the opponent we're going to face in the playoffs, and we're going to do 3 plays for the opponent this week. Sometimes you're going to do that. Or you might, as a coach, just tell your players, hey, we want to make sure we're good on this pressure, this blitz, but it's actually for your playoff opponent. They may not know that. And the third thing I would have always done as an offensive coordinator, we were going to call some type of formation, motion, or maybe a personnel grouping that I wanted to set something up, whether it be a double move, a trick play. I wanted to make sure that defense had to work on it. And you know, a defense coordinator is going to say, oh, he's not going to run it. He's not going to run it. That defense coordinator will he'll cross every bridge and look at everything on that picture to make sure he doesn't get snuck in it. So, but for the young players, Isaiah Wooden, how about that kid? Number 80, me and Milt are watching him. It's important to him playing right now. Like, those are some good young players that are trying to impress the personnel people. I'm going to keep watching him in the second half for Hamilton.
All right, well, thank you for that, Paul LaPolice. And coverage of our second game of our doubleheader between the Argos and Elks gets underway at 9:30 Eastern Time on TSN3. We will join that game once this one wraps up between Ottawa and Hamilton. Ottawa looking to snap that 5-game skid, up 20-13 at the break. And yes, they've got a big game next week, all about keeping healthy here, as Hamilton looking to end their season off on a winning note. The second half is coming up.
Time in Ottawa, the RedBlacks lead by a touchdown. Here are the numbers. One of those Tiger Cat touchdowns, the touchdown for Hamilton, scored by Keandre Smith, who's standing by with Claire.
Keandre, you are 74 yards away from getting to the 1,000-yard mark for the first time in your career. How much are you going to be thinking about this in this half?
Not at all.
Why not?
Because we got a game to win. Everything else comes after, right? If we win the game, then I can talk about it after. If I can't think about it now.
You guys are coming into this, too, on a 5-game winning streak. How important is it to end the season on a win?
It's important just to build momentum for the next season, right? Go off on a good note. Go off on the offseason. Give some guys a chance. We got some guys like Woolen coming in. He's showing a spark immediately. So it's a good opportunity for them to show what they can do and end off on a good note.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, you know the Ticats story. They started 0-5. They were 2-9 at one point, and then they went on this roll. Scott Milanovich, Dwayne, at one point told us he thought they might win the rest of their games and actually make the playoffs. It was just that one loss in their last 6 to Winnipeg that really derailed things.
Yeah, and a game that looked like they were on their way to winning that one. A terrific final drive put together by Zach Collaros. Big touchdown by Kenny Lawler, sort of snatching victory from the Ticats in that one. But, yeah, it was like a story of 2 different seasons for them, really.
Really has. The second half, they've been one of the hottest teams. That ball kicked out of bounds, so a penalty to start.
Illegal kickoff out of bounds. Ottawa, number 13. It's going to be first down Hamilton at the 50-yard line.
Well, the opening 30 minutes for Bo Levi-Mitchell. You know, he generally looked pretty sharp. Stephen Dunbar going over 1,000 yards on the season, leading the way for the Ticats in the pass game, but also a few drops from Hamilton receivers that obviously hurt Bo's numbers a little bit.
Still needs over 200 yards passing to catch Henry Burris for the Ticats single season franchise passing record. And like Keandre Smith, not that he's necessarily thinking about that now. I think for him, Dwayne, just going over 5,000 again.
Hamilton, number 64 and 69. It's a 5-yard penalty. Will replay first down.
Got the right side of the line and the guard, Calderwood Manzi, and the tackle, Jordan Murray. But I think for Mitchell, though, I think that meant a lot to show the numbers that he had, that he can still not only play the game, but he can still be an elite quarterback in the CFL.
Yeah, and I think going even beyond that, the fact that he's been asked to adjust some things in his game at this point in his career and has been willing to do that. And you know, you do notice a difference in terms of some of the decisions that Bo made at the start of the year prior to the benching versus after.
He completes that one. Adi Litre builds up a head of steam, and he is tackled, but gets it well inside the red-black zone, and a big first down for Hamilton. Gain of 17 yards, Litre.
And notice Litre lined up here as a tight end. We've seen him carry the ball as a running back, short yardage quarterback in this ball game. Just bringing him on the under route there. Dragging across the formation to pick up a Ticat first down. All smiles on the sideline.
Down to the Ottawa 48. Ticats trailing by 7. Faking the handoff to Bell, completing it there to Desmond Patman. Inserted into the lineup again tonight, his 7th start with the Ticats. He gets it down at the 40, a second and short coming up.
Yeah, Patman getting an opportunity to play here late in the season, largely due to the injury to the Cats' most outstanding rookie nominee, Shamar Bridges. Bridges, another guy who had his eye on a 1,000-yard season prior to his late injury.
His season ended a few weeks ago at 933 yards. Handing off in the second down, and more. Litre down inside the 25. Well, they had been 2 for 8 in second down conversions coming into this, but a big conversion there to get a first down deeper into the red-black zone.
Yeah, nicely blocked up. Good read by Litre. Just keeping it simple, getting it north-south. Finishing that run, falling forward.
So down to the Ottawa 23. Ticats moving down, trying to tie this game again. Looking to finish up with a record of 8-10. Consolation, if you will, for a team that a few weeks ago thought they still had a chance of making the playoffs. It fell short. But have played well in the second half of the season. Patman again. Good second effort as he looks like he's picked up another Ticat first down.
See Patman lined up on the line of scrimmage here. Keandre Smith on the outside actually creates a little bit of a rub for him. Forces the defender to decide, is he going over top or underneath. Smith has to duck under a little bit, can't just take a straight line to Patman, which allows him to slip outside.
Damon Webb stopping him after a gain of 12, so Litre is back in the game. Whistle blows.
Time count violation. Hamilton, number 19. It's a 5-yard penalty. Will replay first down.
Pushes them 5 further back on the time count.
And that's one that'll frustrate a coach, particularly given the field position. Great opportunity to get in the end zone, and now suddenly find themselves dealing with 1st and 15.
From the 16, it gets knocked away. The middle linebacker, Javon Santos-Knox, just recently returned to the red-black lineup after a long time away, and he gets his hands on that one and breaks it up.
Santos-Knox just bailing out of there at the last second, was lined up tight to the line of scrimmage. Good reaction by him to get the arms up in a hurry. Bat that one down, intended for Keandre Smith.
2nd and 15 now at the Ottawa 16. Ticats trailing by 7. Bo Levi Mitchell. 4-man rush, gets rid of it for Dunbar in behind him and low. Inside the 5, it falls incomplete. And a field goal try. Mark Leggio coming on for Hamilton.
Yeah, proves to be missed opportunity for the Ticats from here in the offensive green zone. See the frustration for Bo. He knew he was just off on that one.
Leggio's 2 for 2 on the night. This from 23 to make it a 4-point game. Perfect. 3 more. 16 on the board for Hamilton. 20-16. Ottawa leads it as Mitchell. Another discussion with Scott Milanovich. New contract with the Ticats for their kicker heading into this game. Regular season finale for Drew Brown. Good numbers in this one. 14 of 22, 233, and a couple of touchdown passes to 1 pick.
Yeah, wondering with the numbers again. We keep talking about this desire to win for both teams, but at the same time, Justin Hardy sitting out to make sure he's healthy for the playoffs. I wonder at a certain point if Drew Brown gets taken out of this game, if Bob Dice decides he's seen enough that Drew Brown is in a pretty good groove.
We'd like to welcome in viewers on TSN 5 who are watching Ottawa Senators hockey. Watching the Ottawa RedBlacks here. Rod Smith, Dwayne Ford, Clara Hanna at TD Place in Ottawa. And it's a 20-16 Ottawa lead. Regular season finale for both of these teams. Drew Brown, that pass, little in behind Dominic Rhymes. Incomplete and a 3rd down. Punting unit coming on for Ottawa.
Pretty good protection on the quick hitter there, but throw is just a little bit behind the receiver Rhymes, much to the frustration of quarterback Drew Brown.
Second and 10, not 3rd. Brown, of course, the offense still on, so it's a 2nd down here. Caught by Rhymes, and now we can make that a 3rd down. Now the punting unit will come on for Ottawa. The RedBlacks trying to finish with a winning record. That seemed to be a foregone conclusion back 5 games ago when they were 8-3-1, but they've lost 5 in a row, so it's either an 8-9-1 record or a 9-8-1 record, depending on the outcome tonight for Bob Dice. Punt from Leone, and Lawrence Woods is back for it. The Hamilton 20. It's just up across the 30. Bob Dice, Ottawa RedBlacks, playoff bound next week at BMO Field in Toronto. Further to your point and Milt Steagles about a player that isn't in the playoffs but have such a good season they win MOP. Willie Burden with the 1975 Calgary Stampeders, just shy of 1,900 yards rushing, and then there was Jimmy Edwards 2 years later with Hamilton. The Ticats didn't make the playoffs, but Jimmy Edwards, 2nd time in history that the MOP has come from a non-playoff team. Could it happen again with Bo Levi Mitchell of the Cats? Far and away the leading passer in the CFL this year by over 1,000 yards coming in, ahead of 2nd place Zach Collaros.
Yeah, definitely worthy of consideration.
Mitchell is back in. Add to his totals, and Litre catching and running. And Andy Litre integrated into this offense in a few different ways tonight against his old team.
Yeah, Litre looking like he'd love for this season to go on a couple more games for the Tiger Cats. A pretty good role here for them, getting plenty of touches in the second half.
28 more yards for that Ticat offense, and Andy Litre to the Ottawa 51 and a 1st down. 4-point game. Ticats trail with the ball in the RedBlack zone. Completing again, and Dunbar turns around and greeted immediately by Elijah McGee. And down he goes, but another good pickup and a second and short coming up here for Hamilton.
Dunbar head turned as McGee's got that head start on him. Those are the kind of hits that led to Milt retirement.
That's why Stiegel packed it in. It wasn't all that catching and running. Second and 3, taking the handoff to Bell under pressure, still gets rid of it, and it is caught. Patman has it, and it's another Hamilton first down.
And here you see a nice job by Bo finding time, stepping up ahead of that rush. Into the fire to deliver that throw to Patman.
Does Patman, his 4 catches for 50 yards now. Halfway through the third quarter. Greg Bell, 25. Looks like another first down. He had to get to the 22. So Ticats in a close game here at TD Place have something going now.
And Bell looked like if he could have made this cut back beyond the line of scrimmage a little more cleanly, once again colliding with Brandon Revenberg, he might still be running.
11-yard pickup for Bell. He's got 51 on the night. Down to the Ottawa 21. Bell again. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Greg Bell adds a touchdown to this breakout season in the Canadian Football League for him. That's his 6th rushing touchdown.
Yeah, similar look. You see Bell stretching it to the outside, gets the defense running to keep him from getting to the sidelines, and then darts it up inside as he gets the D to overcommit. Good looking run there from the first-year Tiger Cat running back out of San Diego State.
Who played his first CFL game here back in week 4 and ultimately became the starting running back for the Ticats. That a 5-play 79-yard drive to give Hamilton the lead. With the point after try going wide to the right. Savani Dedman trying to bring it out. It doesn't matter anyway. It's a 2-point Hamilton lead. So the misconversion by Leggio, but still the touchdown by Bell. 6:02, third quarter. Ticats up by 2. Back in Ottawa, and this is how the Tiger Cats took the lead in this 5-play drive.
Yeah, Ante Litre continuing to contribute here in the second half, as is Desmond Patman. A couple of nice looking runs from Greg Bell, including this one, finding the end zone, giving the Tiger Cats the lead here in the third quarter.
Bell with 72 yards rushing on the night. He came in over 500, and so not too bad for someone who's not played the full season. Now over 600 yards rushing now is Greg Bell. Khalil Pendleton on the return, with the RedBlacks now down as he gets it up just shy of the Ottawa 30. Have lost 5 games in a row. That losing streak started at Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton. Ticats beat them in the second meeting of the season between these two teams, and for Bob Dice, it's also of importance to just get back to the winning ways before they head back to Toronto in a much more important game, that Eastern semifinal next Saturday. And stiff arm there from Pendleton, the nominee for outstanding rookie of the RedBlacks, on that catch and run.
And it's not often you see a 163-pounder have that kind of success on the straight arm. We managed to get Jonathan Moxey off balance there. That shot to the face mask.
Up to the Ottawa 34. 2nd and 5 coming up now. In a fast third quarter. Ackland breaks a tackle. It's a first down.
A good start to this possession for the Ottawa offense. Looking for a big response after the Hamilton go-ahead touchdown.
Illegal contact on the receiver. Hamilton, number 20. It's a 10-yard penalty. Makes it a first down for Ottawa.
So they take the penalty on DQ Thomas instead. And they do have that first down. And the scrimmages from the 44. Well, what did you dress up for Halloween? Dressed up as a flag.
Yeah, that one took me a minute.
We got the... yeah. Thanks to our director, Franklin Rubenstein, for explaining that to me, by the way, as I looked over. But sure, beside the guy in stripes, and you got the flag. Is that a bit of a statement? It's kind of, you know, flags everywhere. It's a very creative costume. I like it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. The guy in stripes with a flag in his hand as well.
Is that his flag on the side?
Yeah. Can never have enough flags. Second and long. Blitz is coming. Gets rid of it quickly. Brown does. Completes it too. That is Pimpleton, and that's up to around the 52.
Great execution here against the blitz. You can hear a lot of communication at the line of scrimmage. Pimpleton out wide. He knows with blitz coming, typically that's his adjustment, is just get to the slant. Short, quick throw for Drew Brown to recognize and get it out quickly.
Not enough for the first down, though, so Richie Leone comes on. They'll kick it away. Lawrence Woods once again, the returner back for the Ticats. Still hanging on to that 2-point lead. Late in the third quarter. Gets it at about the 14, and not much doing there. Coming in, Nigel Romick, number 47 on special teams. An original Ottawa RedBlack. Around here for the full 10 years of this organization, the only one. Makes the tackle there. Mitchell back on. Ticats up to 22-20. Big night on the ground for Greg Bell, 72 yards. Here's a little sample of his work, but it's more than just running for this Ticat running back. Let's go back to Claire.
Yeah, Rod, we saw Greg Bell get that rushing touchdown, but when you look at his receiving yards this year, he's averaging over 8 yards a catch. Now, he told me throughout his career, he has a very interesting post-practice routine that occurs in the locker room. What he does is he gets his quarterback to throw him between 50 and 60 balls, yes, in the locker room after every practice, because he says during practice on the field, he only gets about 5 catches, and he wants to make sure he's got that natural feel that his hands are on point during a game. He started doing this when he was with the Detroit Lions, but with a jug machine. Now a quarterback steps in, and for the record, this is all possible because the Ticats have a pretty big locker room.
Thank you, Claire. And yeah, nice big room to toss the ball around with. I understand it's Talia Tungavailoa who's volunteered to help him out a little bit. He gets his tosses in, and Greg Bell gets to work on his hands. First down, Mitchell. Deep, open, caught, Dunbar! Ball comes out. Money Hunter's chasing it down. RedBlacks have it. And it's tossed back to Brendan Dandridge, and he's going backwards. RedBlacks get the ball. They lost a ton of yardage in that exchange. But it is a catch and a fumble by Stephen Dunbar as the Ticats turn it over.
Dunbar, even though the wide receiver lined up off the line of scrimmage here so he can hit this running. Little stutter step there. Caught Dandridge flat-footed, perfectly placed ball from Mitchell. Nice strip, however, by Dandridge. So Money Hunter with the recovery and then the lateral. Watch Dandridge here with the left arm coming over top to punch that one out. Negating the big completion to Dunbar.
By the way, and I'm not saying Bo Levi Mitchell cares about this, but yes, he does get those passing yards. Not the way he'd want it.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. It's first down Ottawa at the 20-yard line.
So it was a completed pass and a fumble, so Ticats lose the ball. But I'm just saying, we've been tracking Bo's numbers.
Yes.
He does get them.
Yeah, Bo doesn't care, but we do.
Bo's up to 270 now. We mentioned 342 is the magic number to the all-time leader in a single season in passing yards for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Ottawa ball after the turnover. It is Pimpleton. Pushed out of bounds. Will Sunderland. 17 more yards for Pimpleton.
There you see Pimpleton to the right side of your screen. They're going to take advantage of his speed by bringing him across the formation. As he gets that one turned north-south, Nick Mardner doing a nice job shielding off a couple of would-be tacklers.
Pimpleton has 5 catches for 102 yards in this one. That's caught by Mardner. Nick Mardner has it, just shy of the Ottawa 50. That's another RedBlacks first down.
As you mentioned earlier, Mardner, the #2 overall pick in this year's CFL draft. Guy who took advantage of the transfer portal during his NCAA career. Got off to a great start to his career at Hawaii before transferring to Cincinnati and then finishing up his career at Auburn.
Brown on a 1st and 10. He goes deep down the right. Coverage there, Panabaker. And flags come out. He was in there on Andre Miller. Panabaker with his back to the ball and bumped into him before the ball arrived.
Pass interference. Hamilton, number 24. It's going to be first down for Ottawa at the spot of the foul.
Andre Miller again working in the slot tonight in place of Justin Hardy. Panabaker in pretty good position at this point, but as the ball is thrown behind a little bit, as Miller's trying to adjust to the ball, Panabaker runs through him.
What amounts to a 33-yard penalty against Panabaker and the Ticats to get Ottawa down to the Hamilton 28 now. Trailing by 2. A minute and a half to go until three-quarter time. Quick sweep. Pimpleton finds the edge. Tries to turn that up and get it now down to the 25. It's about 3 yards. 2nd and 7.
Yeah, Pimpleton just desperately wanted to get an edge where he could get this one turned upfield, but the Ticats a nice job pursuing, stringing this play out horizontally, laterally at the line of scrimmage.
Brandon Barlow, one of the first-year Ticats coming over as a free agent, have been with the Toronto Argonauts. He and Dwayne Hendricks moving down the QEW this year. Brown, looked like Rhymes had it, but bobbled it, dropped it. 3rd down, and a chance still for the RedBlacks to retake the lead as Lewis Ward comes out.
Yeah, receivers having a tough time getting a handle on the ball has been one of the themes of this game. Normally sure-handed Dom Rhymes loses this one off his fingertips.
So this will be a 33-yard attempt for Lewis Ward. Another solid year. Great kicker for the Ottawa RedBlacks. Part of the all-decade team. One of the current players that's on that list, Leone is as well, who held it for him. So through again, 3 more on the board. And Ottawa back on top. This time, by a single point, 23-22. The single season numbers for Hamilton. So he came in at 5.026, so he's added that much, 270 to it. Henry Burris in 2012 leads the way, 53-67, followed by Danny McManus, an old teammate of yours back in 1999.
Yeah, Danny was MOP in 1999 for a Grey Cup championship.
He wasn't your teammate then.
He was not.
He definitely wasn't. Played him in the Grey Cup.
Played him in the Grey Cup and lost. He beat out one of my teammates, Alan Pitts, for MOP. I don't know why I like that guy at all.
It's hard not to like Danny Mac.
Agreed.
It's pretty well unanimous. Anyone you talk to that's met him or knows him. And we're at three-quarter time. Hard not to like Hank, too.
Yes.
Old colleague Henry Burris, who was somewhat of a hero, of course, here. He left the Ticats, came to the RedBlacks, and won a Grey Cup in 2016. Mitchell. The throw, and that's a beautiful catch for Tim White. In traffic. White had some difficulty earlier, a couple of drops, but a big reception there. 37 yards to end the third quarter this way. With Brandon Dandridge all over him. White comes down with it. Ticats already in scoring range. We're through three quarters in this final game of the regular season between these two teams, and Ottawa's jumped ahead a point. What stands out to you?
Well, Hamilton with actually a little bit of momentum despite the score, as it was Drew Brown who had the big passing numbers in the first half of this ball game. Bo has now surpassed him, a couple of big plays here in the second half. So hopefully we're in for a great finish here between two teams who, regardless of what this game means in the standings, nothing.
Yeah.
Two teams who really want to win and are competing that way.
Well, you know, the players will say it, and I get it. It's a team game. The individual numbers don't matter. But you're right. We like tracking them. I know I do. I'm just curious to see as they pursue them. We saw Dunbar go over 1,000 yards earlier, and Bo Levi Mitchell trying to catch Henry Burris. And the RedBlacks trying to finish with a winning record for the first time since 2018, the last time they made the playoffs. Mitchell gets rid of it, completes it to Dunbar, inside the 10, down to the 5, down to the 2, first and goal coming up. Ticats, and another connection between Bo Levi Mitchell and Stephen Dunbar.
Yeah, nice escape here from Bo Levi Mitchell with pressure facing him in the pocket. Just a quick step to elude the on-rushing defender, finds Dunbar. And a great job by Patman, blocking for his fellow receiver on the play. This is where sometimes the benefit of having size in that receiving core helps. You know, we talk about it a lot as the game has evolved to a lot of slip screens, hitch screens, those sorts of things, where having receivers who can block helps. It shows up there as well.
First and goal at a shotgun. Mitchell handing off to Litre. Touchdown. Andy Litre gets it into the end zone, and the Ticats are in front again.
Yeah, well-deserved, well-earned touchdown here in the second half for Ante Litre. He's lowering his shoulders and fighting through the pile.
We're used to seeing him in a situation where he can pick up short yardage rushing TDs. That's his 5th of the season. He also has 1 reception for a touchdown this season. He's had a busy night, Andy Litre, and they'll go for 2. Up 5 now, looking to make it a 7-point difference. Quickly off to the right, caught by White. No, good defensive play there by DeAndre Lamont to deny White the end zone. So they had it set up, and quickly Mitchell went to White, but Lamont says no. It remains a 5-point game. A
nice touchdown run once again for Litre. And you Get the sense of the kind of guy he is by the reaction of his teammates every time he makes a big play. And then the attempt, 2-point attempt here. That's a great reaction by Lamont to deny Tim White the end zone.
Well, no bearing in the standings, but nonetheless, lots of offense in this and a close game, still within a score, and it's been that way throughout as Dedmon will head back for the kickoff return. Back in the lineup for the RedBlacks after some time away, injured. The RedBlacks, if they can come back and win, they would be 7-1-1 at home, and that would be a franchise record best. Back in 2015, they were 7-2, and that's the standard. Here's Dedmon. No, reaching high, spinning him around. He stays on his feet for a while, and he gets up across the 40. Part one of a doubleheader tonight. Led to Edmonton after this, and it's the Toronto Argonaut. Jake Seresna back in Edmonton against his old team before he was traded away to the Argos. Had a very good year, and Cameron Duke's getting the start at quarterback for the Argos against Trey Ford, getting the start for Edmonton. Chad Kelly rests for Toronto, and once again get a look at Trey Ford. That is Edmonton and Toronto. The Argos, like the RedBlacks, getting set for the Eastern semifinal next week at BMO Field. Those two teams met there last week, and it ended up being just a 7-point difference because of a furious comeback try by Ottawa when they outscored Toronto 25-0 in the fourth. But they were in such a big hole. There's a big catch, and that one is Dominic Grimes on that catch inside the Ticat zone in the 40.
There, Grimes. Terrific veteran receiver for the RedBlacks. Elevating to catch this one. Halfback Richard Leonard coming up to make the hit.
So back and forth these offenses have gone tonight for a pickup of 27 for Ottawa. And that connection from Brown to Rhymes. Here's Brown again. Pressure down. Casey Sales moves in. Picks up the sack for the Ticats. For Casey Sales, that's his 7th of the season.
Yeah, team leader in that category, Casey Sales. Great swim to the inside. Leaping past the center, Eric Starzala. Get to Drew Brown in the backfield. Saw Sales and Brown sitting on the bench having a chat pregame, two former Winnipeg teammates. Not sure if Casey gave him a heads up that he was coming for him.
Got him there. And not nearly enough for the first down. It's Martner with the catch. It's a down still a little shy of the 40 in the original line of scrimmage. So it is 3rd down coming up here for Ottawa. Down 5.
Ray Wilborn lowering the boom on Martner there.
Lewis Ward out again. It'll be a 47-yard try put down by Richie Leone to cut it to a 2-point lead. Longest attempt of the night for Ward, and no problem at all. Just another close one between the Ticats and the RedBlacks to close it out in 2024. After that, it's 28-26 Hamilton, 4th quarter. When the Ticats look back at what might have been this season, there was the Week 2 walk-off loss. Brett Lawther and the big comeback by Saskatchewan. Hamilton thought they had that one. Then here, Week 4, the go-ahead touchdown. Mitchell to Shamar Bridges with just seconds to go. Another walk-off. Lewis Ward nailed it on the final play. That, by the way, was Ottawa's first win over Hamilton since 2018. But, yeah, the Ticats fell to 0-4. Another close loss late in Winnipeg. And, yeah, what might have been for a Hamilton team that really surged in the second half of the season. By the way, Bo Levi Mitchell now 8 yards away from passing Henry Burris. Single season record. They're on the ground. And why not the way Greg Bell has been running. 11 more yards for Bell and a first down for the Cats.
And Ticats doing a nice job with the ground game. And, you know, I mean, this is the kind of thing that may be a little bit of a concern for Ottawa's success that Hamilton has had on the ground tonight, knowing that they'll face Kadeem Carey and the Toronto Argonauts a week from now.
Well, stats on my computer have changed the Bo number, so maybe not 8 yards. He's up near 300, but not quite there yet. See if he throws here. No, it's another running play. And up to just shy of midfield is Greg Bell, the ball carrier again. So second down is coming up. And now Mitchell is listed at 294 passing.
Bell picking, finding his way for a couple of yards there.
Bell is up to 91. Getting some attention on that right hand.
Litre in the backfield.
Andy Litre is there. He's had a pretty productive night. He escapes the backfield and is going to receive this one, but won't be getting much yardage there. He's around the line of scrimmage as he takes a hit. And it's a third down, and Hamilton will be forced to punt.
Yeah, Money Hunter sniffs this one out. A little bit of exchange of responsibilities as Litre on the right side is going to release Keandre Smith, the receiver, moved into the backfield on the left to look after protection. The RedBlacks with that one well covered.
Two returners back, and Dedman and Pimpleton for Nick Constantino. Approaching the midway point of this fourth quarter, still a 2-point Tiger Cat lead. RedBlacks getting the ball back. It's Pimpleton inside the 15. Pursued nicely there by Tyler Ternowski. That special teams tackle. RedBlacks would love to win it out at home. Finish with a winning record. And a good note to head into the playoffs, but they're down by a couple. Well, the Grey Cup in 2018 was the last time the Ottawa RedBlacks had a playoff game. A long time between postseason games, Claire Hanna.
Well, Rod, you can definitely feel and sense the excitement in the city about the RedBlacks going to the playoffs. In fact, Bob Dice said he was walking his dog Shaka the other day when he ran into somebody else walking their dog, and the guy stopped him and said, "Wow, I can't believe I'm running into you. This has made my day." And then that fan proceeded to say, "I know you guys are on a 5-game losing skid, but your fourth quarter comeback attempt against the Toronto Argonauts was so awesome, and I can't wait for the playoffs. You guys are playing fantastic football." And that's really a sentiment everybody in Ottawa shares. And as Drew Brown noted, history has shown that a lot of teams that just hit the ground running in the playoffs get it done. He mentioned Montreal last year, Toronto 2 years ago. So it's really about what team can get hungry at the right moment.
And Claire, you know, if anyone can appreciate the highs and lows of the Ottawa RedBlacks, it's Bob Dice. Been around this team a long time, came in back in 2016. They won the Grey Cup that year, and they had some good years going to the Grey Cup again, but also very lean years. And this is the Eastern semifinal. We'll be covering this game in Toronto next week at BMO Field with the pregame starting at 2 o'clock Eastern.
We're doing this game?
You're just speaking form now, are you? I'm telling you, you're doing this game.
All right.
As we did last week, and watched a bizarre one with the RedBlacks and Argos, with Toronto opening up a 32-6 lead, and then their 32-point lead in the fourth quarter before winning it by 7. A furious comeback try there by the RedBlacks. That's Miller with the catch.
Yeah, Miller, the inside slot in this trips formation. Just with defense playing off, he's just going to hook it up, take what's given to him. Powerful runner fighting through some contact to pick up that first down yardage.
Up to the 43, 1st and 10. Under 7 minutes to go here in the regular season. Barring overtime, of course. The pass, the catch. And then he gets it down to the Hamilton 40. Moving quickly, the Ottawa RedBlacks again. Kyle Wilson coming back to take him down.
Ackland up on the line of scrimmage here. Nice looking route there from Ackland.
From the Hamilton 40. Caught inside the 20. Dominic Rhymes. Sunderland takes him down. 22 more yards.
And down in the bottom right corner of your screen, that's the safety, Stavros Katsantonis. He's not back in the middle of the field. He's coming on the blitz. Drew Brown knows it, as does Dominic Rhymes. Middle's open. He takes it. Once again, great execution against the blitz for the RedBlacks.
Rhymes with 6 catches, 114 yards. On the 19, Brown. End zone too far, Pimpleton. Moxie was there.
Big second down coming up here for Ottawa. Braylon Addison. Nice job stepping up in the gap. Pass protection to pick up DQ Thomas, the linebacker. Again, Addison, usually a receiver throughout his CFL career, has been very involved in the run game as a receiver, but making the start at running back for Ottawa tonight has looked good doing it.
Had 8 carries for 38 yards rushing. Also 5 for 41 receiving, including a touchdown. No good. Intended for Pimpleton, but comes in to argue the case. Would have been shy of a first down. So it is 3rd down. And Lewis Ward, by the way, who is 4 for 4 on the night, will come on to see if he can make that 5 for 5.
And here's Pimpleton just coming underneath.
No.
No.
Well, control of the ball, but it looked like the front end of that was clearly on the turf. And Lewis Ward, the 26-yard try. Once again for the lead. Moxie came up to the line. Now this isn't a 3rd and 10. Moxie came up and the flags came out.
Offside, Hamilton, number 27. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
It's still 3rd and not close to a first down.
And I understand what Jonathan Moxie's trying to do here. He had an Ottawa field goal attempt in the first half that he timed it up perfectly and got through the line untouched, very nearly blocked the kick. So he sees an opportunity there trying to prevent them from taking the lead.
So now from 21 for Ward's 5th field goal of the night. And the RedBlacks go in front again under 5 minutes, but 4.5 in the clock in the 4th quarter. We got a 29-28 Ottawa lead. Lewis Ward's been money in this regular season finale in the nation's capital. My friend here, Mr. Ford, has his costumes packed to join Marshall Ferguson and Kenzie Lalonde tomorrow in Montreal. Big one for the Bombers, still trying to clinch first in the West. It comes down to that. If Winnipeg loses, Saskatchewan would have a chance at first in the West later, hosting the Calgary Stampeders to wrap up the regular season.
I'm actually going to dress up as Kenzie Lalonde.
There you go. So that means Kenzie will be in the booth or the side. I'm so confused. 1st and 10 for Dunbar. Complete as we now have those updated stats on Bo Levi Mitchell, by the way. That one incomplete, but 338, so 3 yards shy of tying Hank and 4 from breaking Hank's record.
Again, looking to become the Ticats' single season leader in passing yardage. Dandridge and the RedBlacks looking to prevent that from happening.
Henry set that record back in 2012. And there it is. Dunbar has it. He already went over 1,000 for the night, and with that, Bo Levi Mitchell, the Ticats record holder now, all-time single-season passing, as he passed Henry Burris, who played for both of these teams and well remembered here in Ottawa.
Yeah, very prolific offense that year in Hamilton. George Cortez and Henry Burris previously worked together in Calgary, reunited.
On that first down, you know, for Mitchell, I don't know if bittersweet is the right word, but I mean, ultimately, you know, he'd rather have a playoff spot, of course. He'd rather be playing on with a chance at a Grey Cup, but it is, you look at his numbers, as you look again at the record-breaking throw to Stephen Dunbar, but you look at those numbers, especially when it seemed like he was done for the season, or as long as Taylor Powell could be healthy, when he got benched back in Montreal halfway through the season.
A great redemption story for a CFL great, quite frankly. They're saving the record-breaking ball there for Mr. Mitchell. Congratulations.
Friday Night Football in the nation's capital. There's Bo Levi Mitchell, the Ticats' all-time passing leader in a single season. That just became official a few minutes ago in a catch by Stephen Dunbar. So let's update the leaderboard, and some great names on that board who have been quarterback for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Yeah, remarkable to think Bo Levi Mitchell. His rookie year, 2012, Henry Burris moves from Calgary to Hamilton. Basically opens up a spot for a new young quarterback to roll into town.
And you know that Bo was chasing some of Hank's Calgary records too, and lo and behold, he catches one in Hamilton. By the way, another name on that list, Jeremiah Masoli. And remember, he was the Eastern nominee for MOP back in 2018 with Hamilton, now RedBlacks quarterback. It was Masoli who was ahead of him in 2018. So was Michael Riley. So it was Riley first, then Masoli, and then Bo. So Bo had over 5,000 yards. He ends up winning the MOP, beating Masoli that year. But the other two times in his career, there's Jeremiah. The other two times in Bo's career that he passed for over 5,000 yards, he did not lead the CFL in passing.
Yeah.
46-yard try for Mark Leggio's 3 for 3. This is to retake the lead in this back and forth game. Crowd picking up the noise here for Leggio, who remains perfect on the night. The kickers have been, and it's 2:20 on the clock, and another lead change with the Ticats up by 2.
We gotta go win this bit. Let's go.
Let's hear what he said.
Yeah.
Let's win the game.
Yes, sir. Bo's looking for the victory, and as is his counterpart, Ottawa starting quarterback Drew Brown, looking to finish strong here.
Well, if the Ticats hang on to win, they would end up with the same number of victories as the RedBlacks. The difference would be that tie, Ottawa against Saskatchewan back in August. Hamilton would end up 8-10, and Ottawa 8-9-1.
Well, and this to me, quite honestly, is another point when you talk about should Bo Levi Mitchell be considered for most outstanding player on a team that didn't make the playoffs. Well, 8 and 10 teams have won the Grey Cup.
Yeah.
Like, let alone made the playoffs. So, like, it's not like this is a 3-15 team. And you're saying it's irrelevant. And I agree with Milt 100%. The record is a team thing. We're talking about an individual award.
And it has been, I mean, you look back at that body of work. It didn't start well, but it's been an outstanding season for Bo Levi Mitchell, to be sure. Khalil Pimpleton with the ball. RedBlacks trail again. Yeah, to your point about 8 and 10 teams, and by the way, this is a real rarity for a team, if Hamilton can hang on, to be 4th place out of the playoffs and still have 8 wins. That's just not something you, in the East Division anyway, it's just not something you see. And Brown back on and trying to engineer another drive to win this one and see if they can finish with a winning record. And by the way, you talk about teams below 500 winning championships. The 2016 Ottawa RedBlacks had a record of 8-9-1. The oddity that year, they were first place in the East. They got to host the Eastern Final. It was a bad year in the East Division up until the Grey Cup game. Brown slides. And not to bring up bad memories for Bo Levi Mitchell, who threw for over 5,000 yards, was the MOP that year. Ottawa and Henry Burris upset Mitchell and the Calgary Stampeders in overtime that year in the Grey Cup. And the Stamps were heavily favored in that game. That man has seen highs and lows. A couple of championships, Grey Cup MVPs, MOPs, but upsets in the big game as well. And this has set a bittersweet year. From a team point of view, no playoff spot, but setting the record. It's caught by Pimpleton. Could be gone. 5, touchdown. Another lead change. 65 yards. Under 2 minutes to go, and the RedBlacks are back on top.
Yeah, don't try telling Nick these guys that this game doesn't mean anything. What a great battle we've got going here in Ottawa. A lot of action underneath on this one. And all of a sudden, Pimpleton gets open over the top. Drew Brown hits him with a strike. Put the RedBlacks back on top.
Well, we got offensive players really racking up the stats on this night. Pimpleton with 2 catches over 50 yards. He has 6 for 167 and a touchdown. For the rookie, Khalil Pimpleton. So a 4-point difference. They go for 2, see if they can make it 6. Brown softly into the end zone for Addison. Tack on 2 more. And for Addison, a 2-point conversion to go along with that first quarter touchdown. And now it's 37-31 Ottawa.
You take a look at the touchdown play on the left side of the field. Ottawa's got 4 receivers. Pimpleton is the lone guy out to this side, but everything over on that left side is going to be short routes, which leaves Pimpleton, and once he gets deep, the entire field to get open. He's got poor Jonathan Moxey chasing him all the way over to the other side of the field. With Pimpleton's speed, a difficult route to cover. Yeah, nice play design there, as all the coverage on that left side of the field was occupied with those short routes, holding coverage down. Pimpleton takes the top off.
And for what it's worth for Drew Brown, who threw for over 400 yards last week, and the failed comeback in Toronto, is thrown for 445 now. Isaiah Wooden on the return for the Ticats. A slew of lead changes in this game. And here's Wooden in his CFL debut with another good return for Hamilton. It's still plenty of time now, a 6-point difference, 1:34 in the clock.
Isaiah Wooden making the most of his one-game audition here in the Tiger Cats regular season finale. Big return here to set up Bo Levi Mitchell with terrific field position. Needing a touchdown to take the lead. As the numbers show, Bo's been there, done that.
We were looking at that stat relevant earlier this season. Javon Santos-Knox.
Ottawa was a player short.
Timeout, Ottawa. This is their last timeout, and they can no longer challenge for the rest of the half.
An upset Javon Santos-Knox. RedBlacks forced to take the timeout, but talking about the game-winning drives, and it looked like Mitchell had one back in week 4 to give the Cats their first win of the season. 0-3 coming into TD Place here back in late June, and he hit Shamar Bridges with about 26 seconds, I believe, left in that one. and they were understandably celebrating the Ticats sideline, and so another comeback drive by Mitchell for a win, and then no, a couple of plays later, Lewis Ward's got a walk-off field goal, and Hamilton was 0-4. It's caught by Keandre Smith, and down towards the 50.
Yeah, it looks like Ottawa sort of changed up their defensive personnel, essentially to play with two safeties given the situation here. In something of a prevent mode. They were late getting the second safety on the field. That's why they had to take that timeout.
2nd and 3 at the Ottawa 51, 1:16 on the clock. And that's Patman with it. And he gets it down at the 45. RedBlacks, another first down for Hamilton. And still plenty of time.
Yeah, it's always that time-distance equation. Minute 11 to go. Hamilton at the 45-yard line. They're in pretty good shape here. Give themselves a shot.
Mitchell, deep, flags are out. It's caught right down at the 1. Brendan O'Leary Orange. 43 yards. As mentioned, there is a flag.
And I think this is going to be offside against Ottawa. One of their defensive linemen moved early.
Offside, Ottawa, the left end. The penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down for Hamilton.
Well, how about that for Mitchell and the Ticats? You heard him say it earlier. Let's win this thing. They have a chance.
And O'Leary Orange. Another big target in that Ticat receiving corps. You see with McGee shielded to the outside, O'Leary Orange goes up and gets it. Setting the Ticats up in close.
Antti Litre coming in now in short yardage. Mitchell is off, and the only catch of the game for Brendan O'Leary Orange. What a time for it, a 44-yarder. A chance to tie it and be an extra point away from taking the lead. Litre! Second down coming up.
Oddly, given that they've got 3 cracks at this, not necessarily the worst thing, considering how Hamilton lost the previous meeting here, to not get in on the first try and take a little more time off the clock.
Yeah, there was under a half minute when they took the lead before and still lost in a walk-off field goal. To your point, the clock ticks. Under a half minute now. Ticats with a touchdown can tie the game. Litre again. Left side. No! He gets stopped. He gets pushed back. And we got 18 seconds to go. And one more player bust for the Ticats. And Mitchell is coming back on.
Yeah, Ottawa offense comes up huge here. Mike Wakefield has had a terrific season. Ottawa's most outstanding defensive player nominee. Among those wrapping up Litre for a loss on the play.
18 seconds to go. And one more chance for the Ticats.
The Ticats trying to get their personnel sorted out here.
Hamilton with 1 second left on the clock. Please reset the game clock to 1 second.
To your point about not wanting to leave any time at all.
Yeah.
They literally will not. This time, it says zeros, but there's 1 second left and one final play in this game, possibly pending an extra point that could give the Ticats the victory. And at least say they ended their season with another victory. A difficult season in Hamilton. But one of the hottest teams in the CFL down the stretch. And a surge that just fell short. There we go. The handoff. Litre! No! No! RedBlacks deny him. And And the RedBlacks win. Best home record in the 10-year history of this Ottawa RedBlack team. And they finish up with a winning record, heading to Toronto next week in the Eastern semifinal.
What a huge stop for the RedBlacks defense.
Big stop when it mattered most, as the RedBlacks go 7-1-1 on home field this year in Litre, that close. And for Bo Levi Mitchell, like the season itself, great individual night statistically, but the team didn't win. And they finish up at 7-11, undone essentially by the slow start to it at 0-5 and then 2-9 before they really heated up.
You know, perhaps fitting reminder that inability to win a handful of close games or close things out at the end of games, costing the Ticats.
They end up with 7 wins, and 2 of their losses came here at TD Place in Ottawa, decided on the final play, to your point. RedBlacks win. Next up, the Argos in BMO Field. Argos in action tonight on TSN. Thanks for watching.
Yes, that 5-game losing skid coming to an end in dramatic fashion for the RedBlacks. Bring on the playoffs. Meanwhile, in Edmonton, still no score between the Argos and the Elks. The Elks driving. So let's get it over to Dustin Nielsen and Glenn Suter, who have the call of this one.